Once you've set up the meetings with each customer, the next step in the customer discovery process is to actually run the meetings. Please note, whether you make the initial calls or a team member makes them, it's very important you actually attend the meetings. You need to truly understand your customers, and this can only happen by asking the right questions and listening to their responses. The right questions will help you determine what the actual problems are and whether or not your solution can potentially solve them. With that in mind, the structure of your meeting should start by explaining your idea, that is your product or service or enterprise, and how you think it solves certain problems that are critical to the customer. Ultimately, this is just to start the conversation, and the rest of the meeting should focus on letting the customer talk. For instance, after you've discussed the problems you think are important, you should ask your potential customer what problems she thinks are important that your product might be able to solve. Alternatively, you could begin with a broader approach by asking, if you have 3 major problems to solve in the next year, what are they, and why do they make the top 3? As they start discussing their problem, delve deeper to get additional information. For instance, how does their company evaluate new products? How much does the problem cost in terms of lost revenue or time? And how would they rank their problems? Once the customer has explained these problems, ask how they're currently solving the problem and who else has these problems. Lastly, talk about your potential solution in greater depth to be sure if they understand your approach, if they think it would be valuable, and if they're excited about the prospect. To end your meeting, make sure to always ask 2 questions. Who are other people like you I should talk to? And what is it that I should have asked that I didn't? Note that no 2 meetings will be the same, and you'll always end up with different information depending on how the conversation progresses. The only specific rule you should try to follow is to always get at least 3 pieces of new information. If nothing else, at least figure out logistical information such as what trade shows they attend, what journals they read, and how they hear about new ideas. Hopefully, you'll get a much deeper understanding of their problems and the value proposition you could potentially offer them. There are a few final things to keep in mind concerning your customer meetings. First, make sure to keep records of every customer interaction. Keep notes on what they said, important logistical information, and anything else that could possibly be important. Second, you should keep a scorecard on each customer, rating things such as whether your solution will have a big impact and whether they have a workaround. This will help you identify a workable strategy in the next phase of the entrepreneurial life cycle. Lastly, obtain information everywhere you possibly can. Meet with companies in similar markets. Go to industry trade shows to understand the overall trajectory of the market. No entrepreneur has ever said they spent too much time learning about their customers and the market they're going to be in.